Hello, collective. Welcome back to my channel. This is Intuitive Tarot, back with another general reading for my beautiful and handsome collective. Y'all know how I go. Listen, thank you all so much for your likes, your shares, your subscribes. If you have not subscribed to my channel so far, hopefully you do by the end of the read. If not this one, maybe some of the others. All right, or you just get in for the vibe, but definitely don't miss out on subscribing. All right. This is an Aquarius. I would say Aquarius, but this is an air sign love reading. All right. I did all the rest of it except for my air sign, so please forgive me. I do apologize. Um, but I'm getting around to it. All right, and this is it. So I did pull a few cards already to get us started, and just coming out the gate, I'm gonna give you a rundown of what the cards are and the clarification cards that came out for them. This could be low vibrational air signs. This could be, you could be a cross watcher for air signs as well. This could be past, present, or future energy. Only you know what this may pertain to. Everybody's journey timeline is different. All right. Gender is also fluid. So if I'm talking about a he, I could also be talking about a she in this same situation. All right, air signs. So take it how it resonate. For some of you, this could be, something more personal than collectively, but this is a collective general reading for my air signs. All right. So the first card that came out is passions. Don't be afraid to fail. Follow what makes your heart happy. Follow what makes your heart happy. All right. Don't let things that you're new to getting back out there into, whether it's dating, especially for those of you that are like celibate, you have been with, what I'm saying, cut a lot of cords, close out a lot of cycles, and some of you may be still closing out cycles that, may be still newly closed out in the last month or in the last few months or something like that, weeks even for some of you. So the clarification card that came out for that was happiness. All right. New discoveries that lead to celebration. Love yourself first. Love yourself first. You know what I'm saying? Don't wait for somebody else to do it. Don't look for recognition from somebody else, validation from others to do that. You either love yourself for real or you don't. You know what I'm saying? But love yourself first. You're not going to recognize if somebody else truly, really, genuinely loves you unless you know how it feels to love yourself and you know what that love feels like. You know what I'm saying? It's not toleration. Okay? So get that. I want to say get that through your thick skull, but anyway, you get what I'm saying. All right? But when it comes to getting back out there, for some of you, a lot of you, air signs, a lot of, regardless of what sign you are, when it comes to you wanting to get back out there and opening your heart to new love, new friends, a new lover, your person, you know what I'm saying, whoever that may be, for whoever you manifesting in, they come with, some healing that they've had to, work on, and some of them are still, healing, but they are afraid, just like you, to get back out there and open their heart to new love. So be kind, be gentle with yourself. Don't expect everybody you come in contact with to, just hit it off and take off, and that be, what I'm saying, that be that. You're going to be tested, on learning not to control, wanting to control the outcome to everything. You know what I'm saying? Trust that the universe knows what you want. And they're going to put you in alignment and put you on the path to those people, your soul tribe, all right? Those that are in alignment with you. You cleared out a lot of cycles, closed out a lot of cycles, so don't lead with the intent of running back into them cycles again when you know what the red flags are, all right? The next card that came out is Strength. With this card, determination, perseverance, and self-discovery. So a lot of you in this time, that you've closed out a lot of cycles, you may have, gained a lot of strength and have a lot of strong will, about yourself when it comes to the things you've had to stand up and, what I'm saying, and fight and work your way through, regardless of, what it may have looked like when you started out doing it. Regardless of what the situation started out being, you kept going, you kept persevering. You didn't let what one door, didn't have behind it, or what door didn't open for you, stop you from, going to the next door or going to the next obstacle. You know what I'm saying? Challenge. Facing challenges, with your faith in mind. All right. And when you got your faith leading you, trust me, it's not a comfortable thing. It's not meant to be comfortable. All right. But you got the Queen of Cups that came out in reverse with the Nine of Pentacles. And this Queen of Cups in reverse, it could be, a masculine, it could be a feminine, but this may have been somebody that you may need to trust, or you trusted at one time. That could be a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, but they may have been, somebody you may have trusted with your feelings, some of your secrets and things like that. So with this Queen of Cups in reverse, when it comes to this strength, be mindful, and that may have been something you've had to heal and restore and call your energy back from, people in your past that may have, before you were aware of who you were, all right, your spiritual gifts, before you were aware of, a lot of some of the, behavior and, cycles you were in, and just how it played a part in them pulling, siphoning from your energy, sleeping on your light and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Your intellect. Before then, you may not have known who you were. You may have been, in your South Node when you met a lot of these people. But this could have been a mother, could have been a friend, whoever this Queen of Cups is. But they somebody that you may have learned not to trust your emotions, you know what I'm saying, and things that you go through in life, and, things you may have trusted this friend or this family member, this parent, with the information of, and it, what I'm saying, confiding in them and stuff like that. And they may have taken that, and you may have found out over time, over the years, that was not, you know what I'm saying, they, turned it around and used it in a way to hurt you with it. All right. But like I said, you got the Nine of Pentacles that came out that, is rewarding, is self-sufficient. Having people around you that give a damn, that really ride for you, and really care about you. So you may not be aware of who those people are, but regardless of, what people may have said or done, or may have, tapped into, that may have, energetically try to come up against you because they didn't see on the surface just how strong you really were. Some people may have thrown, spiritual attacks your way, not realizing at a time when you realized you wasn't aware of who you were. May not have known how to protect yourself, but you do now. But you have faced a lot of challenges when it comes to, how people have taken, the good things about you, or the times that you confided in them and things like that. People you thought was friends and cool turned out to be who they were, but it still allowed you to keep going. You still kept the faith. You still pressed through. You know what I'm saying? You didn't let that stop you from being authentically you. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to people, not looking back at their part in, them not being truthful or honest with you, or their friendship wasn't friending, you know what I'm saying? That mother, or, that lover, or somebody that you may have pillow talk with, may have, thought they had your best interest at heart. They may have turned out to be somebody you regret you trusted. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, this could have been, one of those moments where people, had they shit going on, at the time when you really probably didn't know who you really were. Okay? May not have, known energetically how to protect your feelings, and emotions. And it could have been somebody that, found it hard to express their emotions. You know what I'm saying? And they could have been somebody that, recklessly, may have been dishonest, but again, they were in a low vibrational state. Like this could have been somebody, this Queen of Cups in reverse. It's like somebody, that they not somebody, that would genuinely take accountability, but they somebody that would definitely be able to fire back with something that you may have told them, or things they know you confided in them that they know about, or that you shared with them, but it made you more aware, what I'm saying, of who you trust with, when you expressing your emotions, you know what I'm saying? Because people would do some hell of a shit, with what you tell them, especially when they feel like, you cutting them off, or, you not having no involvement with them anymore, things like that. People will talk about you and what you talked about with them when they ain't got shit else to talk about. All right. especially if this, was from a relationship that went sour with you and a past person. All right. Like if this relationship went sour and it was something that, may have required, somebody to say something or be a lot more expressive about their emotions and they wasn't. Yeah. And it's for some of you, it could be a mother figure, don't have to be, but it's like somebody having a hard time expressing how they feel. But that may have been a connection, with somebody that you may have had to walk away from based on the fact that they, may not have known how to protect your feelings because they were somebody that wasn't operating from a loving place, within themselves. You know what I'm saying? And that's why people say hurt people will hurt people. And folks that, have emotional trauma, you know what I'm saying, emotional baggage, whether it's with you or just a collective, thing. If they don't get some type of help, if they don't start, facing whatever those issues are, then they'll carry on those behaviors and wreck every other connection and anybody else they get in, some type of, connection or cycle with, you know what I'm saying, that they introduced to. So not healing and pretending you over somebody or pretending you okay with how something was and not, being honest about it only carries over to, other connections that either is going to hinder you or whoever this is going to hinder them from, taking anybody else seriously because they, still holding on to some memories and concerns, from past connections, with people. Because they didn't bring it up, they didn't mention it, they didn't say anything, you know what I'm saying? So you try to deal with it on your own, or they try to find other ways of dealing with it, which in return ends up being reckless ways of dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? So this Queen of Cups talks about, different things, but, all in all, it's, it could have, be a love relationship that just went sour. You know what I'm saying? And somebody may be gaining strength from something that somebody they had to walk away from that may not have taken, may not have been too much out of your energy to walk away or for somebody else to walk away, but being looked at like, you have your own, you self-efficient, you know what I'm saying? You have a lot of good energy and people and protection around you. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like those that may have, sent you some spiritual attacks, at the time may not have known who you were. You may not have even known, that you had a lot of protection and, a lot of people that love you all around you, you know what I'm saying? Physically and energetically, spiritually, all right? Next card, you got past life connection. Someone with heavy influence from a past life is with you. This came out in another reading. I want to say the water sign reading, but yeah, somebody from a past life is with a heavy influence. Meaning they probably had some type of, they may have been a lover or something like that. They in a past life, they may have been a close friend. They may have been a family member. All right. Meaning like a sibling, a mom, a dad, or something like that. But they got a past life connection with you. And it really goes, back to some unfinished business between you and them. Whether this is a contract, that they had with you in a past life to come back in this life and resolve it, to be forgiven for it, to work through it, whatever the case may be. Recognition came out as the clarification card. Admiration for your hard work is coming. For some of you, it's already here. It's already here. All right. And I'm saying that because whatever it is, air signs that, you've persevered through, you've pushed through, regardless of how much it hurt. This may have been a past life connection with somebody that, they want forgiveness in. And I asked the question, was this somebody that passed on or is this somebody that's still here? So I said upright if this person is still here, reverse if they're someone that's passed on. 4 of Wands came out in reverse. The 4 of Wands came out in reverse. All right. So this person, there's somebody that has passed on in the spiritual sense. They may feel as though they want you to forgive them. They may want you to know they forgive you. This could be about forgiveness on your end or theirs. They may be having a hard time with, being released from your energy because you may still have thoughts of them. You may still want to make something right or wish you had made something right with them. You may not have liked, um, how something ended or something like that. Like, but I feel as though it's like, the thing that they want to close out so that they can, move on and you can move on. Because at the bottom of this dig is moving on. And right behind that is pay attention. Look into the divine for, knowledge and red, acknowledgement and red flags. But moving on, endings, that bring healthy beginnings. It's at the bottom of the deck. You know what I'm saying? So, but the clarification cards I got with the tarot that came out is the Six of Wands and the Three of Swords in reverse. The Six of Wands and the Three of Swords in reverse. So this is somebody that is, this Six of Wands talks about recognition. You know what I'm saying? It talks about, the praise, and the pride and the things that come along with, the things that whoever this passed on person is for you, that comes to mind is different for everybody. Like I said, for some of you, it's a friend, a really close friend, feminine friend that passed on, man or woman, to you. They may be a feminine that passed away. For others of you, it could be a masculine. Um, and for others of you, it could be a pet. Okay? Male or female. But I'm getting that person, they want to, let you know that they're around you, that, whatever this contract was, maybe it was a soul contract that you guys made together, to come here and resolve whatever issues between you and them, or, to get that forgiveness, to come to some kind of, compromise or terms to make something right. You know what I'm saying? Maybe in a past life that connection, got distracted or got interrupted, because of something that somebody made a whole lot of bad choices in, and it made you and that connection, the connection with you and this past person, this past life person may have suffered because of that. You know what I'm saying? And for those of you that, may have somebody that's still here, they just lingering in your spirit, in your energy. Like, that's something that you may have to, meditate about and, talk out loud to them and let them know, what it is that you want to release. You don't have to connect with them, like inviting them in, but, put that situation in mind that you want to have with them, that conversation you want to have with them, and just speak it out loud, just like your affirmations. You know what I'm saying? Because this person possibly, wants you to forgive them, or they want to be, they either want you to know that, they forgive you, or they may want your forgiveness. Okay? In a situation. So they are with you when it comes to this Six of Wands, when it comes to, they recognize, the things that you have endured, the hard work you're putting in, and what it takes to have to move on and things like that, and this could be somebody, that may have passed away, that they know that you're struggling with their loss. You know what I'm saying? Or how something ended and things like that, and they want you to know, or if you want them to forgive you or something like that, because maybe you wasn't around when they passed, or maybe you got there too late, or just something about that connection that you feel guilty about. Maybe something didn't get said, or you wish you could have spent more time, but they had a heavy influence. They were somebody that really loved you. They still do. But it's that feeling that you still have, or that they still have for you, that they want you to know that they're with you. But I feel like it's got a lot to do with the fact that they feel like you think about them, or the connection, for the most part, as to, what I'm saying, your emotions toward it. And it may be hindering them from, making that full, complete transition on the other side, to be okay with, how things went, and let you know that they are around you in the best way. They not, out to get you. You know what I'm saying? So that's it on that. But they may, be releasing, or this may be a time that you releasing some pain, and them accepting, how something was, or they just healing. You know what I'm saying? Or they know that you are, when it comes to this recognition, this past life connection. You could be healing from this right now, letting some things go, with this I think it's the eclipse, whatever that moon was we just had, where it came to for Pisces, where a lot of people were having to release a lot of things that no longer serve them. You know what I'm saying? And asking your angelic angels, to release you, that you want to release, you want to heal, you want to let go of those things from the past that were traumatizing, that were, just pulled at your heartstring a lot. It may have kept you in your head a lot, about how it ended, or, what could have been better, you know what I'm saying? But let's move on. You know what I'm saying? Let's forgive ourselves. Let's forgive the person, in the situation that, at hand or in that connection, so that we can, gracefully move on and let them do the same, with no hard feelings. You know what I'm saying? So that may be hard for some people because, some people just don't want to start over, but you got someone with a heavy influence from a past life. Like I said, it could be a family member that passed away, like a sibling or parent, an uncle or something like that. It could be a lover, a past lover, one of your lovers, or somebody may have passed away that you had a close connection with. Um, yeah. And, and for others of you, it could be somebody that you were close friends with, over the years, and they may have passed, and it may have been some things that you still find that come to mind when it come to them, that you could have made right with them, or you needed to say, or you got it wrong in some area or connection, in that connection with them, in that relationship, in that cycle. But it's just closing out cycles that right now they need to be closed out. And I think, right now what's going on with a lot of my air signs is that you're closing out cycles that are complete. For some of you, you just now getting to the bottom of it. You know what I'm saying? The list of things and people and energy you need to clear out and release, your energy from, and forgive yourself and forgive these individuals as they are asking or maybe wanting forgiveness from you, so that they can, know that you forgive them. You know what I'm saying? Even if they got it wrong, or even if you felt, that things could have been better. I wish I could have did this. Why didn't this work out? I really cared. They just want your forgiveness. Even if you do it, even if this person, is not here with you anymore, or for some of you, if they are, they still, with the Three of Swords in reverse, they want some type of forgiveness. They want some forgiveness somewhere in this ending, in this healing, and getting past that, and the acceptance of why this had to, why this ended in the first place. All good things come to an end. All right. But you do, have that freedom to move on, and have those new beginnings, for you deserve that. All right. But pay attention. You know what I'm saying? Look out for signs from the divine. Acknowledge red flags. Pay attention to those things before that you ignored before, when it came to red flags, like I said, with passion and happiness. Don't let things that in the past, cause you to stay in cycles, longer than you should have, because you were giving somebody the benefit of the doubt package. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that, because it's not going to hurt anybody but yourself, in the long run, that, you did that, and having to forgive yourself all over again for, and some people just feel like, well, if I don't get back out there and date and have to worry about, trusting and believing somebody going to be honest with me, I ain't got to worry about that. I just stay by myself. You get what I'm saying? Like, don't do that, all right? But let's get some hidden truth before we close out and see what's going on and what other messages that is in your energy that need to come out as far as this love reading. All right. Give me some hidden truth for my air signs in love. Give me some hidden truth. What is the hidden truth here for my air signs in love? What do you want them to know? Hidden truth. You got finding out the truth crushed me. Came out in reverse. It came out in reverse. All right. And that could be why this, you know, past life connection with somebody here, you know, may have, you know, being why this person lingers in your energy, because you keep thinking of, you know, how the truth may have felt, or they know how you may have felt about the truth. You know what I'm saying? And so this truth may have been something that, you know, they want, you know, Three of Swords, they want to heal, want you to heal from, or you need to heal from, or you healing from now, you know. And like I said, this could be one of those cycles that, you know, may have taken longer to close out and clear out your energy than any other cycle with anybody else. Any other friends or lovers, you may feel like, damn, you know, why this lover? You know, why this friend? Why this family member? Why is it, you know, that this person keep lingering in my thoughts and my energy like that? And whatever it was that you found out may have been something that you felt like, you know, somebody should have been man enough, woman enough, or whatever to tell you or be honest with you about, or something like that. But, or somebody you didn't ever think would be this way, or whatever the case may be. But they, you know, like I said, with the Three of Swords in reverse, they want some type of forgiveness. They want to, you know, heal, or don't want to affect, you know, how you heal. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're not with this person and they've moved on, you know, they not, you know, this is for you and them. Air signs. Let them know, as well as telling yourself out loud, speak to them out loud you know what I'm saying, specifically saying, you know, I'm releasing this energy, I'm releasing, you know, these emotions, these thoughts and things, that everything that go along with, you know, what I feel like, you know, the truth is. And, you know, with no grudges and no animosity or anything like that, but I wish you well. You know, you deserve it. And this could be what this past life connection may be, you know, is recognizing, is giving that recognition, you know, and they recognizing you in that moment, in this moment, all right, of saying that, you know, you deserve, you know, to move on, and, you know, they want to be forgiven. They, you know, they forgive you, regardless of whether, you know, things worked out with you and them or not, all right. Any more on this hidden truth? I don't react when people mention you. So somebody, you know, they try not to, you know, let that show in their demeanor. You know what I'm saying? In they, you know what I'm saying, in their face when it comes to your name being mentioned. And at the bottom of the deck you got, I will wait for a sign from you. See what I'm saying? With that moving on, and at the bottom of the deck you got pay attention. Anything else for my air signs in love? I regret lying to you. The bottom of the deck you got, I'm starting to understand our connection. They realize that you and them have a past life connection. Like I said, for some of you, it's someone that has passed on, and for others of you, it's somebody that's still here. You know what I'm saying? That, so take it how it resonates. They just may be somebody that is, you know, that close to being completely out of your energy. You know what I'm saying? And it may have taken them a while to let go and move on. You know what I'm saying? Not because they, you know, didn't want to. It's just that, you know, they may have, you know, had hope, you know, that maybe you and them would come back around and talk or something like that. For some of you, they may have passed on before they could, you know, make something right. You know what I'm saying? But they starting to understand y'all's connection now. You know, they realize it now, you know, that was a past life connection that you and them had, especially if you and them felt as though you knew this person forever. Like you may have felt so comfortable, you know, with being around this person, talking to them, that you never, you know, expected them to lie to you. You know what I'm saying? Or feel like they needed to lie to you. Or that you gave them some reason to lie to you. You know what I'm saying? Give me one more on this hidden truth for my air signs. It's time for me to heal now. See what I'm saying? Whether this is for you or them, take it how it resonates. But in the bottom of the deck, it says, I'm not available. You get what I'm saying? So for a lot of you or somebody in particular, this is somebody that passed on. They not here anymore for some of you, but only you'll know who that person is. For others of you, they somebody that's still here. But the bottom of it, right behind this where it says I'm not available, right behind that card is I hope that you can forgive me one day. See what I'm saying? But I'm gonna end it here, collective. That's it on the air sign reading, this love reading for my air signs. Hopefully it helps and resonates with you in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Or you just get in it for the vibe, all right, loves? So make sure you guys do something nice for someone today, even if you don't know them. Hit that like, that subscribe on your way out for me. And as always, those of you that genuinely love me, know that I love you too. Mwah. Bye.